Welcome to Geeks with Kids, where Geek Talk hits a little differently. Because I started off with a new tagline 2 weeks ago because of the Trailer Fest, which, was a giant clusterfuck, but fun, but a clusterfuck.
It was a fun episode to do, yes.
Yeah. We got to talk about a bunch of movies coming out, but that's not important now because we're going to be talking about, what's it called? Daredevil, Born Again Season 2, as well as The Punisher one-shot, which was called The Punisher One Last Kill. Which is, a little, confusing. Misleading, one might say. But, we'll find out once we get into the episode. So, yeah, let's
Born Again Season 2.
We're gonna try and keep this pretty concise. I think we've been getting about an hour and a half for our episodes. I'm gonna try and put this down to 1 hour. So we're gonna talk about Daredevil Born Again Season 2 first, and then we're gonna get to our side quests, which is Punisher One Last Kill. So let's start off with the spoiler-free impressions. In 1 or 2 sentences, what's your spoiler-free take on Season 2? Let's start with Dave.
I think it's an improvement over Season 1, but it's still not hitting the bar the Netflix show did.
I can see that. Hawk.
I kind of feel the same way. Yes, it's a definitely improvement over Season 1. There's a Disneyification of the series and that kind of is part and parcel to the franchise and that, but still, I did like what we got.
I really enjoyed Season 2 as well. There is a simplified version of this, I guess. It doesn't hit as hard as the Netflix show, and I don't know if that's on purpose or because it's from higher ups, but I still enjoyed it. I sort of wish I just binged it instead of watched it week to week. There wasn't really there wasn't cooler
dialogue.
Talk. Yeah, there wasn't cooler talk for it, but the tone was cool. Blah blah blah. Let's move on. That's our spoiler-free impressions. We're gonna break this down.
It's worth watching.
It's worth the watch.
Absolutely.
It's still good TV.
If you like Daredevil, watch it. Yeah. Oh shit.
Eric's breaking stuff.
I broke stuff. Sorry. I right-clicked on Hawk and a menu came up. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. So the Daredevil. We're gonna spoil now. I'm gonna spoil it. Season 2 picks up where Season 1 ended, with Wilson Fisk as mayor of New York, having turned the city into a near-police state under the guise of cracking down on vigilantes. Daredevil is branded public enemy number 1, and Fisk uses political power, propaganda, and the law itself to hunt him and any allies who oppose his rule. Matt Murdock, on the other hand, is operating from the shadows with a small resistance, including familiar faces like Karen Page, and they try to systematically dismantle Fisk's corrupt empire while protecting civilians caught in the crossfire. The season's core conflict is a war for the soul of New York. Fisk uses the media and fear to paint Daredevil as a terrorist, while Matt tries to expose the truth and turn public sentiment back in favor of real justice. Over the course of the season, Fisk's knowledge that Matt and Daredevil are the same person becomes a weapon that he chooses not to use directly. Instead, he outs Matt. And he twists that knowledge to manipulate events and keep Matt off balance. The story escalates through targeted crackdowns, attacks on Matt's support system, and a series of strikes and counterstrikes that culminate in a direct collision between Daredevil's underground rebellion and Fisk's regime. The finale resolves whether Matt can truly be born again. If Matt can truly rebirth that idea of Daredevil as a symbol of hope rather than fear, and whether Fisk's grip on the city finally breaks. That seems pretty sound as the
synopsis.
Yeah. Do you think so it was a, what was it, 8 to 10 episode?
8 episodes.
Only 8 this time around.
Yeah. Do you think that the story was concise in the whole telling of the story? Do you think there was a lot of bloat that came on? Was there any how did you feel about the story structure of the season overall?
It's interesting because we definitely have had the least amount of Fisk and Matt / Daredevil in this season. Because of so many side characters. We have so many other people, but all of those people had really good stories is the thing. A lot of people complained online, oh, but it's but none of it was bad. Like none of it was bad for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a problem wanting to see more Daredevil, wanting to see more Matt. It's not like we weren't lacking action scenes. We had characters come and go as they were necessary to move the plot forward. Like everything worked, but it definitely also still had like that Disneyfication you were talking about. I think it's almost like the Netflixification, where it's
Yeah.
like this is clearly made for a certain audience. Like it was almost a second screen experience. It was like, well, oh, now here's the big action, so pay attention to this, and then you can kind of go back to not paying too much attention.
Zone out and go
It's
back to your phone.
yeah,
the Matt Damon
just
phone thing, right?
yeah, it's just not like it hits the same. It's like the same structure as a normal Daredevil season, where it's like Fisk does a thing, Matt's got to find a solution to the thing, and in the end, he's going to do the whatever. But there's just something in between there that seems missing, right? Like it's not quite there, and it might be that there's too much lens flare. That might be part of it. I'm not sure, but there's just something that's not quite right compared to the Netflix series, and I haven't been able to put my finger on it yet. But it is good, but it's just not quite like Daredevil season 2, the stuff with the Punisher I thought was amazing. Then the second breaking a season into 2 halves was awesome, and then Daredevil season 3 with the introduction of Bullseye, it's just like that's like perfect TV. So there was just something missing.
It's an interesting kind of note. It's almost like the strangely kind of gothic tone that the Netflix series had with with it is missing.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you were to compare like Ben Affleck's Batman to Robert Pattinson's, or Matt Reeves' version of Batman to like what Zack Snyder chose to do with his version of it, and that it has to do with tone. It the Disneyfication, I think, is something that we can't really be ignored. It feels like almost like a little bit of a gloss put over it, which is weird because like when you get down to it, there was some incredibly like violent stuff, and like the language was still language is still there.
The language is worse than the Netflix show. They swore way more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I get that. There is definitely like kind of the strange disconnect between like what we're what we're getting and what we kind of expect. But at the same time, it didn't really diminish my enjoyment all that much. But again, it's like I said, you see it. They're almost there, but like there was just something kind of tonally missing in that the Netflix series had that this one doesn't. Yeah, as you said, lots of good performances, lots of good characters, and that Michael Gandolfini, and that I actually really enjoyed his
So
character
good.
a lot.
He
Yeah.
was really good. It's
Yeah.
it's weird because I think back on the season and there's only like certain parts that I can remember. Like everything is sort of just like there.
Mhm.
And I don't know, but like if I think back to like Daredevil, the Netflix Daredevil, I can remember season 2. I could remember season 3.
Mhm.
I don't want to remember the Defenders, but I remember the Defenders, which is
Mhm.
weird. And Iron Fist, but like this one, I sort of sat there and I was like, okay, I remember Luke Cage
Maybe
randomly.
that's because we did get to binge those, though, right? Maybe that's part of it. Because
that's
those
possible.
all were like I remember watching all of Daredevil season 1 in one night, and then season 2, and then season 3, all in one go.
That's
And those
fair.
were longer seasons. Those were 13 episodes.
They were.
So it might have just had more time to breathe, might be part of it. But I didn't feel like this was particularly rushed.
Nope.
Like nothing felt like, oh, wait a minute, we missed something between here and there. Like we even got some really cool stuff that we didn't have before, like Matt actually kind of do like some detective stuff when he went undercover, pretending to be someone who could see. There was some stuff we haven't seen before, and they took way bigger swings because obviously at the start of the season, last season they killed Foggy, and then this season we had like flashbacks that even really looked like the Netflix show.
Yeah, the
Like,
colors were
really
totally
good-
different.
Yeah, and it made me go, why doesn't the show still look like this?
This is true.
Like they, and they, obviously spoilers, killing Vanessa, huge plot point, hugely important, right? To put Fisk and Matt on the same footing. So they both lost something. but like that's a big punch as well because it's so important. You know, she's been in the show since season 1.
Mm-hmm. And they fought
You
to
know,
have that actress to come back.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
she's great.
Yeah.
So like, there's real stakes. It's just something. Yeah. Like, I think it's because maybe all the hype because it's maybe connected to Spider-Man. We're all like, he's got to be in Brand New Day. He's got to be. You see the hand ninjas. Oh, he's the prison. He's in prison. Oh, it's got to be. You know, like, so we're all just like going, oh, we're in the next thing, and now we already know. Okay, well, Luke Cage was at the end, and oh, we know he's going to be back, and it sounds like Danny Rand's going to be back. Like, oh, we're gonna. So that's the Disneyfication. I think it's just that, like, what's the next thing? Oh, what's the next? You know, it's like just let this thing breathe. Right? Let this thing be.
I want to keep talking about this Disneyfication because now that like we saw the Punisher, like the trailer for what's the new one coming out called, the new Spider-Man movie.
Brand New Day.
Brand New Day came out, and we saw the Punisher. Yeah. I think during a lot of this season, I sat there thinking, "Where's Spider-Man during all of this?" Like, it's the same city. Yeah. You think that he would? There's like protest, like there's giant riots and stuff.
Yeah.
You don't think that Spider-Man would maybe swing downtown? I know he's up in Queens or whatnot, but he swings pretty fast. That I don't know if that's a hindering to the Spider-Man and Daredevil stories, that we know that they're both in the same city and they should.
He's getting his BED right now. He's very busy.
Yeah, but it's Spider-Man. I don't know if you guys thought about this the whole season. But
Yeah,
I kept on sitting there thinking, like, what the fuck is Spider-Man doing? There's a riot happening in
City Hall.
City Hall.
Yeah, it seems like maybe he would show up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, personally, I was more thinking, why isn't Frank showing up at all in this?
That too,
this season?
To be honest.
Well, that's because Frank Castle has to retire every single time.
Right. Didn't. We're gonna get into Punisher one shot. Anyway, let's go over the key characters and their arcs. Matt Murdock. What did you think of his emotional arc this season, where he started? Like, he's underground. I love the idea that he spray painted his suit black. I thought that was cool. And seeing that it's starting to rub off. What do you think about him and his challenges through this season?
It feels pretty normal, right? Like, he gets to have a love interest and then he'll lose it by the end. Right? Both he and Spider-Man are not allowed to be happy.
No.
That's like the crux of them. Also Batman. And he is maybe more alone than he's kind of ever been by the end of it, which I kind of like. Like, that's always his arc, right? Where it's like he's either alone and he's not alone by the end, or he's not alone and he'll be alone by the end. But one of the things that's nice about Daredevil's a character like Steve Rogers, where it's like Daredevil doesn't change, the things around him change, right? You either have a journey for the character where they discover something and then they change, or they don't and they change the world around them. So Daredevil's whole thing is he changes the world around him, right, by bringing down Fisk. I think maybe we're just a little it's a good storyline, but it probably would have been nice to just tie up the Mayor Fisk thing in one season, because we have had Fisk for now 5 seasons, which is a lot. And as great as Vincent D'Onofrio is, it seems weird to have just like, hey, you're a pretty good lawyer. How many times can you defeat one? Like, how many times can you send someone to prison or not send them to prison? Mm-hmm. So I like this journey. I like that, Karen... I like the changes they made, right? Foggy's dead, even though Foggy's died in the comics before, but Karen's still alive. People didn't like the Muse changes because in the comics, blah, 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 Muse is a really cool villain. It's like, well, we're kind of getting that. And in the comics, that character has a much worse ending. Matt basically drives her to kill herself.
Yeah.
Which is awful. And that's our hero, not on screen. Like, that's not going to happen. So I like Matt's journey. It was good. It was interesting. He finally is accepting, right? He takes off the cowl and, I'm Batman. He gets to have his cool moment. Yeah. And that was neat. It felt predictable, but that's fine. Mm-hmm. It's okay to be predictable.
Yeah.
It was good. It was, it's a culmination.
I think the best acting was in that scene when you see Wilson Fisk starting to realize that he's going to unmask himself.
Mm.
Like I love their acting against each other. That whole what what's that
The
military
Tribunal.
what's that military movie
A Few Good Men.
Few Good Men, yeah. Like it
Yes.
felt
Yeah,
very
you can't
very
handle the
much like
truth.
that. Hawk, what did you think of Matt's journey this season?
Well, it was like almost like the opposite side of the mirror in that from last season. And that last season was about him abandoning Daredevil for the most part, and that, and concentrating back in the law, and that, and being Matt Murdock, and that, and trying to get justice, on a very much the you know traditional way, in that like the legal way, and that ultimately that culminated in mayor Fest becoming mayor, and that, and everything changing in that. And this season it's like he is not Matt Murdock, he is mostly Daredevil in this season.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Murdock actually becomes the liability for him, as you pointed out, when Fisk and that was using Matt Murdock and that to try and lure out Daredevil. It's like, please bring Matt Murdock home. Please find him this good man. And then it's like, I found that interesting. It's interesting that, he does defeat Fisk and that, by, readopting Matt Murdock again, you pointed out how it's like he had spray painted the suit black this season, and that, and how it's kind of peeling away, and that, it's like it's supposed to be like Matt, when he revels in his dark side, can be like a very dangerous man, very effective too. And that, as you saw, like with with basically taking down the whole ship, and that or at least forcing Fisk and that to dump that whole ship, and like create a huge scandal in that, which he has to work miracles around. Um, I did enjoy Matt's journey this time, in that
Mm-hmm.
you're right. It gets a little samey each season, but then again, like that's the consistency of the character, Matt Murdock, and that. It's interesting that he and Paige are finally together this season. I always thought, like, Matt's in the comics and everything. I always thought Matt's biggest weakness in that had to do with the choices of the people he dated. You know,
They always end
obviously
up
Matt
dying.
Murdock is that, or like he just falls in love with the wrong people. And I remember when he fell in love with Typhoid Mary.
Mm.
You know,
Or Elektra.
Yep.
Elektra, now Chios, yes.
I hope she
It's
comes
like
back.
it's always fun, like like him experiencing the duality that goes along with that life, and that it's like the good guy lawyer and that, but like
Oh no. Did I lose internet? Oh no.
dark side in people.
We still hear you,
Yeah.
Eric.
Okay.
So
Oh no,
you
now I see you
clearly
guys
turned
again.
on. I think jumping on that, Hawk, I think it's interesting that like the like women like Typhoid Mary and who was in Jessica Jones season 2, I think,
Yes,
or Iron
very
Fist season
briefly.
2 or something
Yeah.
like that.
No, Jessica
Um,
Jones. Because it's sort
Jessica
of
Jones.
her sister, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but the fact that he dates these women who have, like dark impulses, whatever you want to call it, like Elektra, who's an assassin, and
Mhm.
who tries to bring him to their side. And then when he tries to date someone good,
Yeah.
he darkens them,
Yes.
right? Like he ruined this psychiatrist. Basically, he's ruined her life.
Yeah.
Because of his
It's so
presence in it.
true.
So like, and like even Karen, like
Yeah,
like he
this
could have
season.
just helped Karen, right?
Mhm.
Like deal with the whole thing in season 1 and then go bye. But then, she stuck around. Like killing Wesley was one thing, but then she stuck around and all this other bad stuff happened. Well, now she's dealing with the Punisher. Now
Mhm.
she's, like it just keeps going and going and going to the point when she's got a gun to Bullseye's head, right? Like she.
Yeah.
He's trying to pull her back, but he's the reason she's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought that's interesting that like he can't ever find balance, right? He can either be Daredevil or Matt Murdock. He can either be, kind of like he can either not break the law at all or just go not, full vigilante.
Yeah. Let's move on to Wilson Fisk, aka the Kingpin. What did you think of him? Is he still terrifying? Is he a little unhinged this season because of him being as mayor? I'm glad the mayor storyline did end this season. I didn't want that to go further than that.
Mm.
Are there any standout scenes that you guys thought? Vincent,
You
I'll
can
go
go ahead, Hawk.
share.
I've been talking about.
Yeah, go. Go for a Hawk.
Well, it definitely confirmed for me this season that yes, Wilson Fisk is definitely a metahuman in the series, because he is just unnaturally strong. Like,
He just works out, man. He
no,
eats
he
right, he
doesn't.
eats protein.
Well, I know, yeah, and barely enough in that too for his size. If I remember the egg whites and that, the egg white omelet that he favors so much.
They're
But
delicious.
that final scene when he is just basically picking people up and breaking their backs against the corners
Oh,
of the,
brutal. I loved it.
oh, it was so brutal in that. I thought he was going to kill a lot more people in that.
I don't know. I
Um,
believe it. He's basically supposed to be Andre the Giant,
Yeah.
yeah,
right? Like
yeah,
just
Massive.
super tall, just like the strongest man alive, bodybuilder type, right? Like,
yeah.
so I believe it. I don't think he's a metahuman. I think the metahuman stuff is him getting shot in the face and that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah,
because
he
he
does seem to survive a lot of extraordinary,
yeah.
circumstances too.
But
You know,
he punches through that wall, and he's just like, he actually, his hand actually hurts. So at least there's some aspect that he
Yeah, yeah.
can be hurt.
Mm.
right? You
Um,
know, Matt definitely schools him on that several times in this series.
dude, the
Um,
no look dodges were great. That it's about time we get some of
Mm-hmm.
that. Like he's blind. He doesn't obey the same thing. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't have to
no,
fight like a boxer.
exactly. No, he just feels and hears everything, and he hears like the movement of the air. He feels the vibrations and that as the air pressure changes and that. Yeah. Um, but basically, Vincent D'Onofrio is continuing on, as his character in that. He just, it's always entertaining to see. I don't know that we got a lot of kind of development of the character this season with him and that. It's like really where was there left for him to go? It's like he loved New York and that he became its mayor and that, but he ruled like a king.
Mm-hmm.
And there was only so far he could push that before it came back to bite him in the ass.
But
Um,
there's the whole change that happened when Vanessa died, right? There's
no,
that
of course.
aspect that we saw of him
Yeah.
where he
Yeah.
became sort of like a little boy again. Like he and then whenever there was like, remember that one doctor that tried to comfort him, and he's like,
Mhm.
the only comfort he could do was just to crush that man, just crush him. I don't know.
I know that doctor was an idiot though. Basically any doctor coming on that strong with the empathy and that, it was just that was just doomed for a bad reaction.
Yep.
I remember thinking dude, you really need to walk away.
Mhm.
You are
I gotta
not
say
helpful.
that the symbolism of the Christianity was a lot more subtle in this one. You
Yeah.
Vanessa asking for pineapple and stuff like that. Like that's like really deep cut old stuff that most people wouldn't pick up on. That you got to go watch Screen Crush for.
Yep.
And then
What
read
was
the
the significance?
comments because even they don't pick up on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the
Um,
significance of the pineapple?
so it was, like, if I'm recalling correctly, besides the fact that it was something that she originally didn't like, so she's reverting to a time before him, basically. Like she's getting her innocence back in a way because she's separating from him. But also that pineapples were so expensive that like you would just rent them. Like kings and queens would be like, I have a pineapple. Like they were imagery because they were so expensive, and she has like such exquisite taste, and he doesn't like. He's like, oh, you're allergic or whatever, and like it's this whole. There was a whole bunch of like colonialization that goes along with it as well. So there's just
Right.
like a whole bunch of symbolism tied up in her, and like maybe people are reading too much into that. Maybe they just picked pineapple, but like it does have a lot to do with like Spanish Christianity and stuff like that. So
Interesting.
yeah,
That Screen Crush
like,
video is really good if you
it is,
check it
yeah.
out. I won't
Yeah,
I won't
their
remember
breakdowns
the
this
link,
season
but
were great.
yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah, it was interesting to see Fisk. Like, I guess that was the only option for his journey, especially if it's going to like kind of end for him to like revert back to the boy he was. It was a nice juxtaposition of like Matt's in jail and Matt's happy. Like he has no freedom and he's happy, and Fisk is like freer than he's ever been, except he can't go to the one place he wants to go, right, New York.
Yeah.
But he's on a beautiful island, and his painting's ruined, but it's the same kind of imagery, right? That blank canvas. and he's miserable.
Yeah.
Just as miserable as he was when he was a child, right?
Yeah.
Because Fisk is about just wanting things. It's not about having them, it's about wanting them. Fisk needs to want things. He, that's his need. Like, his driving factor is, I want New York. I want to control New York, right? It doesn't, and when he has it, he's still not happy, right? Because he's never going to be happy.
Yeah.
But he's happiest when he's pursuing that thing.
Mhm.
So he's most miserable when he can't pursue that thing.
And now he doesn't have, And now he doesn't have his balance of Vanessa.
Yeah.
Right. So now it's just gonna be all want and nothing
Like,
to.
If I could quote Star Trek very, very quickly in that.
No.
The
No,
thing
go for it.
is not so pleasing as
Sorry,
the
do it
wanting.
again.
The having is not so pleasing as the wanting.
Yeah.
It is not logical, but it
It's-
is often true.
It is very
like
true.
Fisk is in a place that looks like heaven, but it's his hell.
It's his
Yeah.
hell.
And Matt's in a place that is hell for many people, but for him, it's as good as it's going to get.
Because he's free. He's free.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the
So
supporting
he's no
cast.
longer
Oh.
a divided person anymore.
Mhm.
He's Matt Murdock and he is Daredevil.
I'm very excited to see him in prison next season because, like, the Lincoln Lawyer just did a season where the Lincoln Lawyer was in prison. I really enjoy that. I'm
I watched
interested.
half of that season on YouTube Shorts.
Random. Let's move on to the supporting cast. Karen, BB Ulrich, and Daniel Blake. What did you guys think of each of their journeys? I really enjoyed. Personally, I really like Daniel Blake's story and how he was a bootlicker and eventually, finally, stood up and ended up dying, even though he wasn't originally going to die on the series. They added that.
It made the most sense. Like,
It made the
someone
most
had to
sense.
pay a price, so
Yeah.
it made sense to kill him off. It's unfortunate, but also, like, what are they going to do with him in the future? And it gives BB all the more reason to continue, like, her sort of crusade. Because if once Kingpin's gone, like, what's BB gonna keep going for? Now she can, like, look for the killer, right? She can look for who killed him, kind of thing. She can look for justice for him. So that's great motivation for next season.
I mean, even Buck now is like he's unsure about where he goes forward, right? Like, he doesn't have
Yeah.
Fisk. He doesn't know if the killing of Daniel was like
Yeah, it, like, broke him.
broke him. Yeah.
Yeah. Not to mention he had a gut shot, so we don't even know if he really survived or
Fair.
if he's gonna get modded in Mos Eisley.
What about Karen? Karen took a darker turn this season. I don't know if you wanted to say anything else about Daniel.
No, it's okay.
I mean, yeah. He was almost like at this point he was the sacrificial lamb in that. Yes, he was a bootlicker in that, but it's also the way, like, if we're comparing it to the current administration over there, and that, it's like, how much can you actually turn a blind eye to, like the person you're working under and that and working for, and then before you wonder in that how much of your soul is actually left in that,
Yeah.
like Daniel was it, I think originally he does have a good soul in that. He was like, he thought this was an opportunity for him to, kind of step up, and you see like his home situation and that with the mother and that.
Oh, she was delightful.
Well, also, like, he thought he was, like, the first season, he's like, gangsters mayor, like, that's so cool, right?
Right.
And he started with, there's stakes here.
Yeah.
This isn't a movie. Like, there's real shit happening.
Yep.
I think that's maybe something where the boys did a better job of it, showing that, like, only a couple of people were afraid of Fisk, right? But Fisk also didn't wield the same kind of power that Homelander. Like, Homelander really can kill you at any moment. Whereas Fisk can get away with it, but it doesn't mean he's going to do it, right? Because, like, there's a mess, I would assume, and he doesn't like that.
Yep.
So, like, Fisk also doesn't have to do it himself, whereas, like, Homelander was just like, whatever. He doesn't, like, really send other people to kill people. He tries to do it himself.
Yeah.
He'll
just send them to space.
He dropped off when he dropped off the astronaut in space. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Karen took a darker turn this season too. Like, the
which makes sense because the last times we were seeing her was on the Punisher as well.
Yeah.
Right. Like, she's in Punisher season 1. I think she's in some of season 2.
She's in season 2. Yeah.
I haven't seen season 2 for a while. So she gets, she gets 5 seasons. She's not in the Defenders, no, but nor is Frank Castle.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, it makes sense because Punisher season 1 and 2, I think, are, sometime around Daredevil season, either just before or just after Daredevil season 3, because that's after the Defenders. And Frank gets some shit done in those.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Not to mention Bullseye, like Bullseye's been killing how many people? Like he killed how many cops?
I loved
And
his
and
story
he
arc this
killed,
season.
yeah. Oh, he was great. And obviously he killed Foggy, and
Mhm.
she's just sick of it, and she knows she having personally killed people at this point, like she knows that she could just do it. And like it's interesting that Matt forces his morality onto her, because it's one thing to argue with Frank about it, because Frank is also a Catholic, but we have no indication that Karen is also a Catholic and that she believes what he believes, right? So like if she doesn't believe in what he believes, what's the point of him pushing his morality onto her, right? He's like, we have to do this. We don't have to do shit, man. Like it's sort of like when you go watch like The Dark Knight and you just see Joseph Gordon-Levitt, or sorry, Dark Knight Rises, and like he can shoot people. Commissioner Gordon can shoot people. Those are cops.
Yeah.
Like they have deadly force. Like you guys are vigilantes. It makes a lot more sense that you're not out killing people,
Yeah.
right? Like you're not in the same situation. You're putting yourself there, not with the law at your back, right? Matt's whole thing of like they have to get a chance at redemption. That's not how the law works, right?
Nope.
Mhm.
Like
Nope.
Matt should be fighting the death penalty.
I mean, we don't know what he's going to be going into for the next
Yeah.
season, right? We don't know.
Yeah.
Did you guys have anything else to say about either of these, any of the supporting characters other than that?
I think it covers it pretty good.
Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the themes of this season: faith, justice, redemption, corruption, legacy. What do you think was the theme that really stood out the most out of all of that? I know I'm dropping the deeper questions now.
I know. The one that stood out the most. I mean,
Ooh.
Dude,
I s-
that's a
I
tough question.
I stumped you
Yeah.
both, which is very strange.
I look at this season as a whole as like life under occupation and that, and fascism and that. As far
Mhm.
as the deeper themes of like
Uh,
morality, I mean, yes, Karen is kind of emblematic of that. And that she almost, she's looking for an excuse to really kind of, just kind of let go, of those principles. Like we didn't see her a whole lot in the first season, right? And she was obviously still very, very angry about Foggy's murder, and
yeah.
being confronted with Bullseye, and that, kind of was her big test, right? And one, I think, technically, I think she failed because Matt was the one who actually stopped her from shooting him, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
But there was a lot of symbolism in that too when she was going to shoot him, because he used a weapon against her,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
A weapon that he normally only uses against
Villains.
criminals.
Yeah.
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 If you're good there, Hawk, I've
I'm
got
good.
I think this theme was actually selfishness and then sacrifice,
Mhm.
because it's what Matt realized. But he's like, we're being selfish. This is about you and me. This is not about New York. This is not about it. This is about you and me, Fisk. But also like how selfish so many people were, like the deputy mayor and Daniel and BB, and like they all just want their thing, right? BB's, I just want that, like I want the person who oh, I froze on
Nope,
my
you're
end.
still good.
Keep going.
BB wants the person who killed her uncle, right? Like
Mhm.
everybody's pushing the thing they want the most. And that also includes like Mr. Charles,
Yeah.
right? And Valentina behind him, and Jessica Jones, and even the governor, right? Because they're like, oh, we're all willing to let this awful stuff happen as long as we get what we want. They're all being selfish, right? All for the CIA, all for like you're letting New York be run by a mayor, in a way that mayors are not allowed to do. Mayors are not allowed to declare martial law. That's not how that works. You're letting them set up tribunals. That's not how that works. You're letting them enact laws that have like a criminal element. That's not really how that works. Like they can do regulations and things like that, but that's not how that works. but it's because the next person up is turning a blind eye, which also is very endemic of what's happening in the States. Is things were allowed to happen at certain times, and so that means the next thing gets to happen. And then because someone didn't do something about the Supreme Court, so then they let something pass, so then something else falls through. Because someone didn't change out a judge, right? Because someone didn't recall a judge, these things end up happening, right? So it's that selfishness. It's that it's not looking out. It's ignoring checks and balances. It's not double checking those things. That's like the whole season is just going like, this is going to hell because people are letting it go to hell, right? It's not just that the people care about it or Matt Murdock or a lawyer cares about it. Like it works because all these steps along the way are supposed to do a job. And the second one of them stops doing it, it makes other people feel like it gives them permission to not do it. Like the judges at the tribunal were just like, whatever. They weren't like, yeah, this is dumb. This is not how this is supposed to work. They were just going with it. They should have been fighting that stuff, but they weren't because they're afraid of Fisk too, right?
I do like that the main judge was from The Wire, and I just assumed this is her continuation.
She was a lawyer in The Wire.
Yeah, I just assumed that
the judge.
that she just kept on.
She's come up from Baltimore.
Actually, at the end of The Wire, she did become a judge. So.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yep. Sorry.
Sorry.
So yeah, selfishness is a good theme. You can definitely see it in like the city that kind of traded its freedom for the supposed like safety and that
Thomas Jefferson, famous quote, if I'm not mistaken: "Any man who trades freedom for security, deserves neither."
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I'm not good with that American history.
Yep.
Also, another theme would have to be like the way people control a narrative and that and spin a narrative and that and it's like BB was kind of the one who was kind of famously at the center of that. It's like acting as though she was capitulating to Wilson Fisk's narrative while at the same time secretly in that conducting a private broadcast in that in which she was basically anonymous in that. The judges and the whole tribunal thing definitely in that, like bringing Karen Page up on these charges and that, of like, whatever it was they were trying to charge her with. And basically
Vigilantism.
turning vigilantism into a terrorist, threat, obviously it's another big issue in the States and that the way they're now and that, in a way to try and quash any kind of comment or dissent or anything in that, it starts, treating all speech that is anti-government as terroristic.
Yeah, like is Luigi Mangione, like is that a terrorist or is that a vigilante? Like did that guy, because a vigilante, that means that person must have done something illegal, right? And they're trying to take the law into their own hands to bring them justice. Okay, well, if someone did something illegal and someone's not bringing them to justice, isn't that vigilante then saying, hey, so if you're going to charge this person with being a vigilante, you're admitting that person is doing something illegal.
Yeah.
Right? So obviously Luigi Mangione is not charged with being a vigilante. He's charged with being a terrorist.
Right.
And murder, to be fair.
Yeah. Of course. Dave, you touched upon this earlier, and you talked about Mr. Charles and his connections with Valentina
de Allegrofontaine.
Yes. So we're starting to see the wider Marvel universe being integrated into the show. And that we talked about Spider-Man earlier. If you had I always sort of want to talk about it in its little corner of the Marvel universe. If a new viewer hasn't seen the original Daredevil, would you tell them to watch the old series first or jump straight into Born Again? And then secondly, does this make you more or less excited for anything else in Marvel's street level pipeline? Like we know that Jessica Jones is coming back. We know that Luke Cage is coming back. Maybe Iron Fist and hopefully Colleen Wing. Like there's a lot of
and
things
hopefully Misty Knight too.
Misty Knight, right? Yeah. And then we have Spider-Man, who's the biggest street level, and how they all integrate. What do you think?
What do you think, Hawk?
That was a lot that I just threw out there.
Yeah, there seems to be big indications in that they want to basically, reboot some of that stuff that kind of, the offshoots of the original Netflix Daredevil that didn't quite take. They're definitely like trying to bring back on. So glad, I'm glad to see Jessica Jones return.
So good.
Didn't like how they were kind of quashing her powers a little bit though. I
It,
don't
it
know
is
what
in the
was going on with
comics
her.
though.
Yeah.
It
After
is.
she has her daughter, yeah, she
Yeah.
kind
Okay.
of
Yeah.
her powers come and go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes back
Yeah.
fully
Okay.
eventually.
Good. Luke Cage coming back, awesome. Um, yeah, Spider-Man being a part of that, it's like I thought I was pointing that out to Eric, and that, it's like I was like, okay, once we saw the finale and that, it's like that's the connection to the trailer, the brand, for Brand New Day. As you know, Eddie, since we're spoiler free here and that, it's like we know that the Hand plays some sort of a part in Brand New Day, and we know that Spider-Man is fighting the Hand in prison, so.
Am I crazy, or is every series a West Coast Avengers? Hawkeye,
Yep.
Daredevil, She-Hulk, Luke Cage.
I don't know why they don't just make West Coast Avengers
Hell yeah.
and
That'd
Vision,
be
right?
great.
Vision Quest.
Yeah.
Vision Quest? Yeah. That'd be great.
Oh my God, that's right, Vision.
And Wonder Man.
Oh yeah, Wonder Man too.
Right.
Holy shit.
We could
Oh,
have such a kick-ass series. Oh my god.
I would be
Oh,
down with the West
And we're
Coast
getting Wonder
Avengers
Man
series.
2, the season 2.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, Wonder Man was really good. We talked about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can talk about it more, but not today. Yeah, sorry. The wider connections.
Yeah, I mean, if Daredevil's not in Brand New Day, somebody is.
Jean
Something,
Grey.
you know.
Jean Grey's in the prison. We know it.
I don't think so. That seems weird to me.
I don't know.
I'd love it if it was like Spider-Man and his amazing friends. So it's like Human Torch and like Firestar or something like that. That'd be cool. Iceman. It'd be great to see Iceman because they're good friends.
They said that the X-Men team is going to be the originals. So it's going to be Cyclops, Beast, Iceman, Jean Grey,
or Marvel Girl,
and Angel. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I want to see. The thing is that we don't want to see Spider-Man and Daredevil show because he'll take over.
Yep.
We don't want to see too much of Daredevil and Spider-Man because then people are going to go, but I have to watch the movie. Yeah. So if it's just like him, kind of like if it's just a little like I want to see Spider-Man fight some ninjas. So if the hand stuff is just him and Daredevil like busting out of prison, great. That'd be great. I'd love to see that. Because
wouldn't it be funny if he was busting out whoever Sadie Sink is in prison, and then he looks at one cell and it's Matt Murdock just sitting there? Are you a really good lawyer? Aren't you my lawyer?
Yeah. No, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. I don't think it's necessary, but I definitely think people should go back and watch the other shows. I mean, all 3 seasons of Daredevil are great. I loved both seasons of Punisher.
Same.
Iron Fist was not great, but Jessica Jones and Luke Cage were great. Yep. You can skip the Defenders.
I agree.
Yeah, I should have answered that. Yes, I would absolutely recommend that anybody go watch the original Netflix Daredevil series. And that, so I enjoyed all 3 seasons of the Daredevil series. And that Defenders was okay. Iron Fist was Jessica Jones season 1 was like perfect.
Maybe the best out of all of them. Maybe
right.
Like just.
Well, they also had the best villain
season
too.
2 was like I don't even remember season 2 to be honest.
Season 2 is the stuff with like her mom, right?
And her sister,
and what's her face, her friend and that who was dead set on acquiring some sort of abilities and that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Nuke is season 1, isn't he? The guy, right?
Oh.
Simpson. I'm pretty sure it's season 1.
I don't remember.
Doesn't matter.
I should go back and watch them because I really enjoyed them.
Jessica Jones season 1 was really good.
That was great.
Maybe we'll see Jessica Jones and Spider-Man. Let's do our final verdicts of Daredevil Born Again because we need to talk about Punisher very quickly.
Yes.
So, one sentence. What does this season do best? Dave.
It gets you hyped for next season.
Nice. Huck.
Gets you hyped for next season and had some fantastic action sequences.
Yeah.
Really shows off like Daredevil, what like some of the new techniques and that they've kind of added to them and that, especially like some of the the catapulting like with the hook into like people and that. Love that.
Oh, I love that. I love that too. For me, this did court scenes really good again on Daredevil, which I really enjoyed. The best scene in the whole thing
And
was
because it wasn't a real court, it doesn't have to follow rules, which they weren't
Exactly.
following properly before anyway.
yeah,
So,
true. What frustrated you the most this season, Dave?
oh man. Jeez, I don't know. Just release it all at once. I think not none of this week to week.
That's
It's just a waste.
Hawk.
Like Dave said, in that like after 5 seasons, Wilson Fisk and that really
Mm.
should have, it, it would have been. It made sense to me for him to die this season, not be kind of squared away, for
Ooh,
like
damn.
possibly another go around.
He will
which
be
I
back
think
next season.
he will be back next season. It's inevitable, I think, in that. But it
That or
does
he's in
it
Spider-Man
does
Brings Back.
limit like the scope of like these stories and that because
Yeah.
like Daredevil exists outside of like just his battle with the Kingpin and that he has a whole host of enemies and that we could focus on. Muse I think got kind of like thrown away too early last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could have built something really great out of that.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
hopefully
they're
that's next season.
they're building Lady Muse next season.
Yeah.
The thing that frustrated me this year is that nothing new, like there was no new villain. Nothing
Mm.
really new happened. This was all sort of just the same for me. Doesn't mean it was bad. I enjoyed it a lot, but
Mhm.
I knew what I was getting.
Mhm.
Last season, even though I knew who Muse was, it was exciting to see Muse on screen.
It was really more like one long season.
Yeah. Final verdict: watch, don't watch.
Yeah. Like a
Watch.
7.5, 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I give it
The
close to
Netflix
an
stuff is like 9 and 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
So
Yeah. This I would give it a solid 8.
Solid 8. I agree.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Punisher: One Last Kill, the Marvel Spotlight mini movie, I guess.
they call them spotlights, so they don't have to call them anything. I think.
Yeah, it's weird.
Right?
I thought
Is it a single episode of a show?
it was a lot shorter than I expected. Let's talk about expectations because it is a 50-minute mini movie, I guess.
Yeah, I was expecting like a Tom Jane length,
2-hour
2
movie.
hours.
I
Yeah.
expected that too. Hawk, what did you expect when you heard about this coming out?
Honestly, I was gonna clock it at around 90 minutes at the most.
Yeah.
in that,
Yeah, I would be fine with that too.
That would
Yeah.
have been
But 40,
Yeah.
45 minutes, I think
40.
it was.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That was too short. So this this movie thing, I have a hard time saying it's a movie instead of an episode of an episode.
It's more of a vignette.
Yeah, a vignette.
Yeah.
It's
a good word for it.
One last kill finds Frank Castle after the events of Daredevil Born Again season 1, and apparently hit the main arc of his revenge is just over. Like he killed the last of the last
The new
mafia.
yeah.
The mafia family that had
That's
the
who
hit
he
on
was
his-
killing in Daredevil season 2.
Yeah.
The new cheese. Yeah.
So what does that leave him? He's avenged his family. He's kind of emotionally in a moral limbo, grappling with PTSD, guilt, and the question of who he is without this, war to fight. He's trying on some level to figure out if there's more to being just the Punisher, and if he can find, something resembling a life. So that fragile attempt.
See, when you say it that way, it sounds really good.
Yeah, I know. So this fragile attempt of moving on is shattered when a new threat tied to his past pulls him back into violence. And depending on, what happens, he gets exploited, and, he's really, the story is structured into 2 emotional halves. The first focuses on more of Frank's inner state, his trauma, his attempts at restraint, the cost of what he's done. He sees visions of like the ghosts of his past. He sees visions of Karen. Well, the second half just goes into this full-on John Wick style action sequence.
I thought it was like the raid.
The raid, yeah, that's a much better
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
the building.
It was definitely a raid.
When I
Yeah.
saw it the first time, I thought of there was a parkour movie in like the 2000s that was what was it? It was a French movie, and it made me think of that.
I'm trying to remember.
I have it
something
on-
13.
Yeah, Ben Liu 13 or something like that.
It's the guys who like invented parkour. Basically.
Yeah. Anyway, that's what I thought of when I first saw it. So we get this action sequence where he's committed to completing this final mission, I guess. Can we start off with the title One Last Kill. It confuses me because
It's because he needed to kill her. He didn't kill her. That's the one last kill.
is that what it is?
I think so.
But he doesn't do it at the end. It just I just Hawk thoughts on the title.
Like, again, that could mean anything in that.
Is he
What
killing
One
Frank
Last Kill?
Castle? Like, is he just fully embracing the Punisher persona?
Nah, they're the same person.
Yeah, they're one in the same.
They've always been the same person.
Yeah, it's never been.
Yeah. I mean, like, this could have been, like, this really should have been titled One Last Kill, with the question mark at the end.
maybe it's him killing the idea of having a normal life.
Any headline that ends in a question can be answered with the word no.
No? Like, yeah. Okay.
Like, this is, it's a good description. Like, it's like the first half was basically like, who Frank is and that. And let's not forget, it's like he also sustained a very serious injury in that whole thing and that, so Frank is also somebody not just with PTSD, not just living with the ghosts of his past and that, but also with, a very serious brain injury in that, that, forces all this into the foreground of his life constantly in that, it's like, as he said back in season 1 of like, Daredevil, Born Again and that, it's like all he hears is like his little boy's voice and that, every day and that, get him, Daddy, get him, but at the same time, he's still, a fully functioning person living with like, everything that he's done up to that point and that, and seriously contemplating on unaliving himself,
and his daughter is the one who's like, no, come here, Daddy, it's fine, you can stay alive,
it's like, come on over and that you could be at rest and that, but that still struggles.
I think his daughter was pushing him to stay alive is what I took out of that.
I think this is something that maybe they wanted to put in other shows and they just never had the time or the budget because it's the kind of thing, does it move the plot forward? Does it do this? Does it do that? No, then I don't want it in the show. We don't have time for it. We only have 8 episodes, blah, blah, that kind of thing. The Luke Skywalker looking out at the sunset, right? It's acting. It's drama. It's just a scene. It's not anything to do with the plot. It doesn't tell us anything. It's just existing. It's just art. So for that sake, I think it's really good because, as John Barenthal says, he's like this character is for people who have lived through this stuff. Maybe not as extreme, but people who have been to war, people who have PTSD, right? Which obviously there's a lot of veterans. There's a lot of people who go undiagnosed and they don't get the help they need. And obviously, there's severe issues even today with veterans killing themselves. Like this just, the kind of stuff that shouldn't exist. The kind of people who are promised care and, because the things they did and then they're denied it. So obviously that's really important. It's just weird that like he has to do this for it, right? It has to be a special presentation. So we all get hyped for this thing and it's really not what we're expecting, right? Because he's like, well, I want to do this thing for them. And then I want to do this thing for everybody else.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, but it needed to be longer than 15 minutes, didn't it?
Like it felt like there was something missing. Like they had cut out some story out of it. Like it felt too short for me.
Oh yeah, this was a preamble to the next stage of the story, basically. In that, by the time the credits roll, you're like, wait a minute, this is just getting started.
Yeah. Where's the next season?
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see a Punisher season. Like don't go. Oh, okay. So like,
well, I mean, is it just okay? And then he's in Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's so I was gonna go into that actually because a lot of people assume when this was announced that they were gonna put this on right after Daredevil, because I assumed that this was gonna come before Doomsday, like to bridge that gap, just to give us something. But putting this right after Daredevil sort of puts it in line with Daredevil and Spider-Man. Like we want to know where Frank is during the events of Daredevil Born Again season 2, right? Because he's not there. And I feel like Karen would have probably.
But it didn't explain how he broke out. It didn't really explain what he's been
doing.
Is also we don't know when this is.
No.
We don't know if it's before or after he was imprisoned by Fisk. We have no way to know, right?
It's supposed
It
to.
feels like post, like, season 2 of Born Again. Kind of like in the chaos that would naturally kind of befall the city, and that once its governmental structure kind of failed.
But they're not explicit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Marvel has to be explicit, otherwise people get confused.
I think Berthnall said that this happens right after he escapes. But like you could tell that time has passed because he has a beard. He's a little scraggly.
Yeah, he didn't have a beard when he escaped in the thing.
So going back to what I was saying, people were assuming that this was it's okay. That this was sort of once they announced that this was before Spider-Man, this was how we get to the version we see in the trailer. Like this is how we get that Punisher. Do you think that what happened? Do you think that this complemented Born Again season 2 and helps us lead our way into Spider-Man?
I just picture somebody in the ether going, "Where did he get the van?"
He got it from Micro.
You know what I mean? Just like, but they didn't explain everything.
He had to get it custom made. There's a window in the front.
But how did Batman get from there to there?
It just doesn't.
Like, we don't need it explained necessarily, but if you're gonna make it seem like it's gonna get explained, then explain it. Or like set us up with proper expectations. Like, that's not smart to do that. You don't want to mess with, like, yes, you want to subvert expectations, but you don't want people having the exact wrong expectations going, oh, we're going to get an hour long or 90-minute long special, and it's going to be basically a whole Punisher movie that we've been dying for because we'd like to see John Bernthal's version, because we've got Dolph Lundgren and we've got Tom Jane and we've got Ray Stevenson, and those were all really fun. It's Tom, and now it's John's turn, and it's like, no, that's The Accountant 2, actually. You want to go watch that.
That was really
this is totally like, what? Why are you fucking with us, man? Like, why?
Huck? I think we're all sort of on the same page. I feel like we were sort of just confused.
I'm not mad.
I enjoyed it, but I'm also
but at the same time, it did not leave me with any clear picture of how he gets from the end of that into Spider-Man Brand New Day. And maybe it's not even meant to in that. I think with Bernthal and that, being a co-writer on it, and that it was more about a soldier going through it, like with PTSD and that, as we've just talked about, it's like, and him Castle finding a way to come out the other end of it, and that, and it's like it's like basically integrating the whole concept of the Punisher into his life as Frank. It's like it's him. I feel like it's him saying goodbye, finally saying goodbye to the family and that, but also embracing that he does serve a function, and that he's not just a broken soldier, and that it's like he there is something very necessary about him.
I think
Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. I think that's really exemplified at the end when he kills that one little yuppie fucking kid.
The guy who killed the dog.
That punk kid. Like, he looks at that veteran and he's like, yeah, fuck this guy. This guy's an asshole.
That's not all he took from me. Yeah. And that's all he needed to say to Frank.
Yeah. Sorry, Dave.
I think that it's one of those things because, like, we've seen him do this 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to. It's just like we don't need to see Fisk again. Like, it was good enough. Like, we don't want to watch the same thing. We want to watch the same thing over again, but not in the way you think. We want to watch Keanu Reeves keep shooting people in the head. Yes,
I agree.
But they can't keep killing his dog.
Yeah,
they killed his dog once. If every John Wick movie started with him, well, here's my new oh no, we would be like, this is a fucking joke.
You took my car too again?
Yeah.
I love that car.
Like, you can't just keep going, oh, the Punisher retired.
Yeah.
Oh no, now he's not retired. You can't do it again and again and again.
I hope that this is them fully being like, he's just do
another story now. Do another story. Don't do Fisk again. Do another story.
What they needed to do was have the Punisher hunting Spider-Man, and that's why they know each other.
Sure.
That storyline was great in the comics. That's how we got introduced to the Punisher.
Great.
That would have been amazing. We're
That'd
not
be
going to get
awesome.
that because Tom Holland
And
costs too much.
then Spider-Man breaks Daredevil out because he's like, I know you know him.
Yeah,
exactly. Great.
Okay.
That'd be fine.
Let's do the one last thing. Okay. One thing that this movie did well, Dave.
It convinced my fiance to want to go watch the other Punisher shows. So.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I love that. Good. Huck.
One thing it did very well, the whole apartment, like action sequence was fantastic. It was kind of implemented switching edits and that, but also like doing that whole follow cam thing and that. It was all very tightly choreographed. It was bloody as hell. That's one thing I can't fault Disney on, is that is like, at least they are letting Frank be Frank.
You stole that, but from like that was what I was gonna say. So I'm gonna say the best thing that I liked in this was casting Judith Light as the villain.
Light.
And if that means that we get to see more of her as a mob boss, yes, amazing. I loved her. Who's the boss? I mean, come on.
Who's the boss? Come on.
That's a great.
It's always Angela.
What a great. One thing that
wouldn't it be cool if Tony Danza had been her husband in it?
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh,
what a imagine Tony Danza as a mob. Oh, it'd be so good.
Her brother or something, like an uncle. Oh my god, yes.
A little.
Yeah.
Well, brother, can't. This isn't Game of Thrones. Never mind.
Step brother, then. Sorry.
Go watch the Community episode where Abed unequivocally proves that Angela was the boss.
It's true. He had a giant notebook. The one thing not good that didn't work for you, Dave.
Oh man, just him retiring again and again and again. It's one thing. It's like he doesn't have to retire. He can just be questioning the thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like he can be questioning it while still being the Punisher. So that's it. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Fuck.
The basically the length and the structure and that, it's like, that was the only thing. It's like whetting our appetites, like with an action sequence like that, and then it's like, okay, see you later, folks.
Yeah. Wait 2 months for Spider-Man.
That's the thing that bothered me too. It felt like part one of a 2-part series. That's never gonna happen. Or maybe it will. Maybe they'll announce Punisher one last kill season 2 or something. I don't know.
One more kill?
1, 2 more kills than not.
Okay, guys. Swear, last kill.
We swear.
One more.
One more. Just one more.
One last kill _final _final _ definitely final. In brackets 1.
I feel seen on version 1. That MP4. So do people need to watch this? Can they skip it?
No.
They don't need to watch it.
But it's not bad either.
It's fun to watch the second half. Hawk?
Go watch season 2 of Daredevil on Netflix, and definitely watch the 2 seasons of Punisher and that.
I would agree with that. That's it for Punisher. Do you guys want to? Yeah, we can either go out or we can do what we're enjoying right now. I've moved what's good till the end of this episode. So that someone, if you...
Well, I saw Mortal Kombat 2.
That was a damn fun movie.
It's a fun movie.
Surprising, well choreographed. The
cool cinematography.
The Kung Lao and Liu Kang fight was amazing.
Very cool.
They actually shot it like a Hong Kong fight, so you could watch the choreo. Probably because they could actually do the martial arts, unlike
probably
other people in this cast. The refocusing on Johnny Cage as the hero instead of sweater guy. I don't remember his name. Cole Young. Yeah. We're not gonna ruin that movie for you, Hawk, but it's a fun movie.
Go see it. I mean, you don't have to go see it in the theaters, but like it's fun.
Go to a matinee if you want. Yeah, if they're cheaper. I don't know what matinee prices are now. What, like $20, $40 now?
$700. Dude, I saw the movie. It was $100. It was $55 for tickets because we saw it in IMAX, and then $45. And let me tell you, IMAX seats are not Not comfortable enough for an 8-month pregnant woman.
No, man.
No.
No.
No. Also, I spilled my drink. Oh, it was brutal.
Not on her, did you?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say that's not.
My drink landed face down.
Oh no!
And I picked it up, and there was somehow there was still liquid in it, but I wasn't going to drink it because the lid had come off, and I'm like, I'm not going to drink it from the thing because the straw hit the floor, and then that had touched the floor.
No.
So I'm like, so I'm just eating a large popcorn. I'm so thirsty.
Hawk, what's good? What are you enjoying right now?
Good recommendation. Check out Widow's Bay on Apple. It's a new the new comedy horror series, and that it's been fantastic. Stars Matthew Rhys. He plays the mayor of this like little small island community. In that, it's like touches on like it touches on so many horror genres in that in its run, and that it's hilarious. He's partly the mayor of Jaws and partly like the dude from In the Mouth of Madness, and that because he doesn't know what's happening in that. But basically, it has to do with an island which may or may not be cursed. It's fantastic.
I saw the commercial for that, and it looked really good. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna recommend a audiobook by Stephen Fry. It's called Mythos.
We were listening to that. It's really good.
It's a modern collection of Greek myths stylishly retold by writer, actor, comedian Stephen Fry. So basically, he talks about the creations of the gods, and because it's such an old tale and it's in such an old vernacular, he chose to use modern, lingo. Not lingo. That sounds weird. But he tried to modernize it so that people nowadays can enjoy these stories. I gave my wife the Iliad many years ago, and she started reading.
It's a top read.
She's like, I can't get into this. I was like, I understand.
Yeah. I have both the Iliad and the Odyssey, and I can't get through them.
Yeah, it's hard. But Stephen Fry retold all of these. So he has Mythos, he has Heroes, which is about Greek heroes. Then he has a whole book about Troy, and then he has a whole book about the Odyssey. So that's all in modern vernacular. It's much easier to digest. If you get the audiobook version, it's narrated by Stephen Fry, so it's even better. It's just
he's got such a good voice.
It's so good. I'm in Mythos right now. We've gotten to the part where Zeus has banished Kronos. So it's a really good. I love the way he talks about it. It's really good. It's funny at times, and I loved it. So that's our look at Daredevil Born Again Season 2 and Punisher One Last Kill. Let us know in the comments which one landed better for you. Did Born Again feel like Daredevil's return, or did Punisher get the send-off he deserves, or maybe his continuation? I don't know. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe. Share it with your fellow friends. And let us know what street-level character you want Marvel to tackle next. Yeah, there's so many of them. We'll be back in a couple weeks, maybe next week. Survivor 50 just ended. I don't know if we're going to talk about that. We have
The Boys just ended.
And it was incredible. The Mandalorian and Grogu's coming out. So, we'll figure out something. Anyway,
I read a review. Last thing, I read a review about a non-spoiler review because there's embargoes on it.
Yeah.
And the person it did point for him, and he was like this, and he said it's a glup shido fest. So
I've read both good and bad, like short, like spoiler-free reviews, and I'm as someone who's not excited to see it tomorrow. I'm seeing it tomorrow. I will go in hoping for something better than Rise of Skywalker. That's all I want. I want that was the last Star Wars movie I saw in theaters. I was not happy when I left it, and that movie broke my brain.
Considering how low that bar is and that, I think you're gonna have a wonderful time.
I don't think I'm gonna buy the popcorn bucket, but I am gonna eat a big popcorn. So for Geeks with Kids, I'm Eric, Dave, Hawk. Thanks for talking. Thank you out there for listening and watching. We'll see you guys soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
Well, that's it for us this week on Geeks with Kids. If you want to get a hold of us, you can send us an email at podcast@geekswithkids.ca. And don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/geekswithkids. Follow us on Twitter at geekswithkidscn. Check out our pics on Instagram at geekswithkids. And you can find all of this good stuff on our website at www.geekswithkids.ca. So if you like what you hear, why don't you hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. This podcast can be found on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, and your favorite podcasting app. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.